Hey guys, how are you doing? So I was reading in the newspaper the other day about this new terrorist, apparently, that had a bunch of bombs strapped to his chest, suicide bomber. He was heading towards the White House, I believe. He was going to blow it up. They stopped him, they arrested him. It's like, holiday, we're safe from the evil terrorists. Now the funny thing I thought with this is they weren't live explosives because they were explosives that were supplied by the government, by FBI or CIA, whoever was investigating this. It was a 1-year sting operation on this fellow. I'm like, so government did a 1-year sting operation on a terrorist, supplied him with fake bombs, and then set him up to go blow something up, and then arrested him and claimed it as a false or a failed terrorist suicide attack. What sounds like to me really is that they found a guy who happened to be Middle Eastern, and they're like, you know, this guy harbors kind of a little bit of a grudge for the government for whatever particular reason. They're like, you know what? Let's manifest that. Let's make it grow. So they, they kind of send people in. They're like, yeah, oh man, wouldn't you just love to blow up that White House or something? And over a year, they just kind of get this going, and they get the ball rolling, and then they get this guy just fuming at the government. And he's like, you know what? I'm ready to do some destruction. And they're like, perfect. We'll supply you with bombs. He doesn't know they're not real, and he's like, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna blow up the government because I fucking hate them so much this past year. They've just been screwing with my life. And then they're like, oh, failed terrorist attack, we got him, he's gonna go to jail for life. Don't worry, people, we protected you. You're safe. I'm like, oh, that's just like the underwear bomber. He was forced on the plane. They knew about him before we got on the plane. He didn't have a visa, they let him on the plane, and then they're like, got him, terrorist attack, failed. Because we're just on the ball. I'm like, oh my god, really? Like half of these terrorists. There was another one in the States a few years ago. A man was supplied with bombs, explosives from the FBI. They weren't live. He goes to detonate them and he couldn't, and it was also an undercover sting operation. FBI supplied bombs to terrorists. They're fucking creating, it says in the paper, supplying bombs to people so that they can arrest them for terrorism. They're creating fear. People are like, oh no, more terrorists, quick, take away all of my rights, just keep me safe from the bad men that you put there, and armed. I'm like, oh my god, really? It's so stupid. Britain is going to start monitoring your phone calls and text messages coming up for the Olympics and whatnot, so they can make sure there's no terrorist activity and whatnot. Papers are saying about how Hezbollah, the Iran-run terrorist group, will have the capacity to destroy the Statue of Liberty or even hit the Olympics if they wanted to. And I'm like, yeah, of course, right? Right, nice. Hezbollah is like Middle Eastern CIA kind of thing, apparently. So I'm like, all this terrorism, man, is fucking ridiculous. Biggest terrorists are the States. And I would go so far even to say Israel. I mean, have you seen what's going on in besides the whole Iranian scientists have been assassinated the past year, like 4 or 5 of them, is now other friendly countries to Iran are having diplomats assassinated. Interestingly enough, the same way some Iranian scientists are assassinated, Israel was hit. One of their ambassadors, whatever, was killed. And Israel, quick, right on the dot, as soon as it happens, Iran did it, Hezbollah, they're terrorists. They are the biggest exporter of terror in the world. It is Iran. This is unacceptable. We cannot allow this. Tougher sanctions on Iran. And Iran's like, what? Why? That doesn't even make sense. Why would we harm our allies? Why would we bomb our allies? That doesn't make any sense. And he was just like, they did it. They're terrorism. Terrorists. And then the States are like, they did it. Terrorists. Terror. Ah! Good God. Now a lot of people have been like, why haven't you been doing some reports, some trip reports for us and stuff? Like, well, there's a few reasons for that. One, because can't find shit. Oh, it's the middle of winter. I guess you're gonna have to wait a little bit. 2, because there's a lot more important shit than getting high going on in the world right now. There are like all kinds of crazy things. Like literally, we are running out of time. Israel may attack Iran, and then China and Russia. Russia said they will use nukes. They will use nukes if it came to that to defend Russia's interests and Russia. Like that's what we have them for. We will use them. And I'm like, oh, good. Good nukes. Fantastic. Good. No, I'm glad. Good. So there's a lot more important things than just, drugs going on out there. So, yeah, it's crazy nonsense. Fucking terrorism isn't real. Terrorists don't exist. It's a fucking created illusion, man. They're out there to try and scare us so they can take away all our rights. Those who will give up freedom and liberty for security will get and deserve neither. Peace.